Welcome everybody to our Nomasis webinar. My name is Nadine and I'm pleased to introduce to you Philip Farney. Philip is Mobile Security Engineer at Nomasis and will be presenting today. Today's webinar is about app management. The session lasts about 30 minutes. Please notice that during the presentation your microphones will be set to mute. You may post questions during the session through the chat function or ask them at the end of the presentation. The questions will then be answered by Philip. Now I'd like to hand over to Philip. Please, Philip.
Thank you, Nadine, and welcome everybody to today's webinar about the iOS app management, where we will talk about the iOS app signing versus the Apple custom apps. And I will make the focus on Apple custom apps as Apple recommends it to use it more, or there are more use cases to use it even more nowadays. So the short agenda we have is the in-house app versus the custom apps. So where are the differences? Then what are the advantages and disadvantages of the custom apps, and what are the possibilities or where we can help with these new custom apps. And in the end, you have the chance to ask your questions. We will answer them then. So what are the possible ways to distribute an in-house app? As I already said, there is the way with the Apple Developer Enterprise account, which probably all of you already knows. It's the common, or it was the common way to use it the last few years, as an Apple Developer Enterprise account were easy to get, and the use of it was nice, but not always that easy. And the other way is the Apple Business Manager account, which with this custom apps way is introduced by Apple, I think 2 years ago in this way, but there was already this B2B App Store way since 2012, but it wasn't that common as far as I know. So the first possibility is this, or is our existing app management service also, is to get the Apple Developer Enterprise account, and with it you have to create this app bundle IDs, you have to create distribution certificates, you have to make a distribution provisioning profile, and with all of them you can sign the IPA file, and then you can test it, the app in the integration or as an integration environment in the beginning, and then you can upload it and configure the app in the productive mobile iron or any other MDM solution and roll out it. And you have to renew the provisioning profile every year, and you have to renew the distribution certificate all 3 years. And so there are a lot of steps you have to do as an organization. And also with the renewal of this certificates, you have to re-sign and recreate the IPA files. So that was a lot to do in the past. And also the requirements for it were this Apple Enterprise Developer account, which cost nearly $300 a year. And since last October, there were new requirements to get one. And you have to fill in an application to Apple where you define why you would need one of those accounts. And beside of it, you would also need an Apple MacBook, which is also a cost point, which could, it's also expensive. I've written here, with our service we offering, you wouldn't need that MacBook. Just for that you know, this is a service we still offer, and you could use. Some of you probably use it. and with that, the MacBook wouldn't be needed. Just a few hints to the Apple Enterprise Developer account about the requirements. You have now to have 100 or more employees, else you wouldn't get an account. There are no discussions. You have to be a legal entity, so it's if not possible to be a fiction business or trade names or branches. So you also have to get one of these. You have to full supply this DUNS number. And the program is only to create in-house apps for internal use. So you can't distribute these apps public. You have to distribute them internally. You have them, they are private. And you have to participate and pass the Apple verification interview and the evaluation process of them, as they will call you and ask you about why you would need one of those accounts, and you have to give some reasons to it. And if they think these reasons aren't sufficient enough, you will not get an account, and they will recommend you the other way to use. So that would be the second possibility, the custom apps. So with it, you can, you as an organization haven't that much to do anymore, as the big part is done by the developer. You can engage with business customers to design and build customized apps. That's nothing new. That's the same as you could also with the in-house apps. But you can distribute it via Apple Business Manager. You can privately and securely distribute to specific partners. So you only distribute these apps to some special organizations and not public-wise. The custom apps allow you to leverage the scale and ease of use of the App Store, while also providing the tailored look and feel, such as your company logo or branding, unique features for employees within your organization, some security features for sensitive or private company data, also some stuff you were able to do before, but they are also in these custom apps included. And the only requirement for an organization would be a VPP account, which is part of the Apple Business Manager. And as I already said before, it was introduced at the WWDC 2012 from Apple as a custom B2B apps. But back then, the apps weren't distributed privately to only some organizations. They were distributed via the public app store to your environments. And this is now also, or it was also part of this year WWDC 2020. It was again part of it. This custom app distribution with Apple Business Manager was part of that that event, where they gave another overview about this topic. So for the steps we have to do, you have to get an Apple Business Manager account, as I already said. That's something to do for the organization. In this Business Manager account, you have to activate the custom apps and give this organization number to the developer. The developer develops and upload the app to the App Store Connect. This is the same way as you would do it for a public app for the App Store. But then he invites the customer for beta testing if there are any tests needed before. So you could do some testings. If is the app running as it should? Does it looks like as it should? And then when you give the OK back to the developer, he submits the app as a review. This will be done by Apple then. So, and he set the private distribution. So it's only distributed to you as an organization and not public. Then as I said, it's submitted to Apple and they will review the app, which will happen in 1 to maximum 2 days. And then you could purchase and distribute or update the app via Apple Business Manager and can then distribute the app via your MDM solution like any other VPP app you distribute there. You can, it's like you can license the amount of apps you want to use and then they are distributed in your organization. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of custom apps? Some advantages we see are the apps can be distributed through Apple Business Manager, so it's not needed to have the Apple Developer Enterprise account anymore, which is also a cost factor as you pay much less than before. You don't need to pay this $300 a year. You may have to pay this $99 a year for the Apple developer account, but this is mostly done by the developer itself and not by the organization who gets the application in the end. The app goes through the app review of Apple, so if anything is not good with the app inside or if there is any problems with it, you would get informed by Apple and have to get through your app again if there's something with the code which not working or some not filled out code or anything. You get informed by Apple there and you have one program to manage all of your apps. So you could distribute them internal and external. If you have versions which are for the publicity, you can make them public, but you have them also only for your internal use. Another feature of or other advantage is that the apps don't expire, so you don't have to renew the provisioning profile every year. This isn't part anymore, or this is something you don't have to think about every year again. And you can, sorry, I just lost my. You have the Test Flight and App Store Connect tools. Sorry, that's what I wanted to tell you, which is the beta testing when you test the apps first. So you have all the App Store tools which can help you to fully develop your app. And there are, of course, some disadvantages of it as you have, or can be said as you want. Sometimes it can be a disadvantage that you have to deliver a test account if you have to log into your app to Apple, so they can review the app fully and not only the code. So they have to have a test account to test it. Then it goes through the app review of Apple that can take 1 to maximum 2 days. This is a disadvantage if you want to deploy the app immediately, then you can't do it. You have to wait this day. It's somehow under control of Apple as they have access to your source code. This can also be advantage, but sometimes also disadvantage if you have something special there. And the beta test flight is complicated to set up in the beginning, to get used to it, how it works and how you can test the apps. But there is the point where can we help you? So the existing app service we still offer you if you have any in-house apps and if you're still using the Apple Developer Enterprise account, we surely helps you there. We help the customer to set up the business manager, the Apple Business Manager, and activating the custom apps. It's sometimes not that easy to find where you have to do it. We help to enroll and distribute apps via your MDM solution or via the second way via the redemption code, which is also a way to do to distribute the app. Sorry, we help the developer to set up the app in the App Store Connect, as it's a big part for the developer to get your app from the Apple Developer Enterprise account as it was before, as they only delivered you the IPA file and you had to do the part for yourself. So we would help the developer how they have to upload the app in the App Store Connect, how they do it, how they can distribute it only to some organizations. We would help you there. And we would help you with the guide or guide the developer on how to include the SDK, for example, Mobileye, Intune, or another MDM solution. But just to know, you have to be a developer partner by this MDM solution to get the SDK. And we will ask and inform the customer about new versions for the app. And of course, also we will inform the developer if there are any new versions of the SDK. And we will assist you with the beta and test flight if there are any needed assistance for the testing. We will help you as well, of course. So that was already all of my part. If you are interested or if there is anything unclear, you can ask the questions now. And there are also the WWDC 2020. There is a video about the custom apps. If you want to have another person who talks about it from Apple itself, they will introduce it, and they are talking more about the different views of the developer, the business and the user view. So it is an interesting video to watch. Thank you. So
Thank you very much. I did not receive any questions so far through the chat, so I guess there are no questions, and we will end this webinar at this point. Our next webinar is about the remote digital experience with NetMotion on July 16th, same time as today, and you can register on our Nomasis webpage as usual. If you have any further questions on this topic or further topics, please contact Nomasis at any time. And now I thank you all for joining and have a nice evening.